say to the Queen?
Admission of lawyers. Stephanie Marie Andronsek.
May it please the Court, I move that Stephanie Marie Andronsek be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Stephanie Marie Andronsek be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Leroy Dean Angove.
May it please the Court, I move that Leroy Dean Angove be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Leroy Dean Angove be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Pasu Aniwan.
May it please the Court, I move that Pasu Aniwan be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
Pasu Aniwan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sarah Bradley.
May it please the Court, I move that Sarah Bradley be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Sarah Bradley be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Gareth Andrew Canton.
May it please the Court, I move that Gareth Andrew Canton be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Gareth Andrew Canton be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Dominique Ann Carroll.
May it please the Court, I move that Dominique Ann Carroll be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Dominique Ann Carroll be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Aisha Noor Setendag.
May it please the Court, I move that Aisha Noor Setendag be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Aisha Noor Setendag be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lisa Veronica Collier.
May it please the Court, I move that Lisa Veronica Collier be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Lisa Veronica Collier be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alexandra Ashley Condon.
May it please the Court, I move that Alexandra Ashley Condon be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Alexandra Ashley Condon be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Madeline Jane Connor.
May it please the Court, I move that Madeline Jane Connor be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Madeline Jane Connor be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tudor Coombs.
May it please the Court, I move that Tudor Coombs be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Tudor Coombs be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jack Joseph Magella Redmond Costigan.
May it please the Court, I move that Jack Joseph Magella Redmond Costigan be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Jack Joseph Magella Redmond Costigan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jack Henry DeJoya.
May it please the Court, I move that Jack Henry DeJoya be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Jack Henry DeJoya be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Karun Ranveer Devgan.
May it please the Court, I move that Karun Ranveer Devgan be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Karun Ranveer Devgan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Hugo Thomas Dunkley.
May it please the Court, I move that Hugo Thomas Dunkley be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Hugo Thomas Dunkley be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ninota Gabriel.
May it please the Court, I move that Ninota Gabriel be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Ninota Gabriel be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Gia Guo.
May it please the Court, I move that Gia Guo be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Gia Guo be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Natasha Eugenia Hatunto.
May it please the Court, I move that Natasha Eugenia Hatunto be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Natasha Eugenia Hatunto be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tiantan He.
May it please the Court, I move that Tian Chan He be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Tian Tan He be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Samantha Chow Wen Ho.
May it please the Court, I move that Samantha Chiao Wen Ho be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Samantha Chiao Wen Ho be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Keeman Ioannidis.
May it please the Court, I move that Keeman Ioannidis be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Keeman Ioannidis be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kalina Ivanov.
May it please the Court, I move that Kalina Ivanov be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Kalina Ivanov be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sebastian Jose Jarrett.
May it please the Court, I move that Sebastian Jose Jarrett be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Sebastian Jose Jarrett be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kelly Therese Jels.
May it please the Court, I move that Kelly Therese Jelfs be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Kelly Therese Jelfs be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Shahana Karunakaran.
May it please the Court, I move that Shahana Karunakaran be admitted as a lawyer of this Honourable Court.
That Shahana Karunakaran be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Angela Knezevich.
May it please the Court, I move that Angela Knezevich be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Angela Konesevich be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Reese Lenarduzzi.
May it please the court, I move that Reese Lenarduzzi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Reese Lenarduzzi be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jian Chow Lo.
May it please the court, I move that Jian Chiao Lo be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Jian Chow Lo be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Daniel John McNamee.
May it please the court, I move that Daniel John McNamee be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Daniel John McNamee be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Vincent Namnoon.
May it please the court, I move that Vincent Namnoon be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Vincent Namoon be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Krishna Nand.
May it please the court, I move that Krishna Nand be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Krishna Nam be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Amy Samuel O'Donnell.
May it please the court, I move that Amy Samuel O'Donnell be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Amy Samuel O'Donnell be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Harry Haitrong Fan.
May it please the court, I move that Harry Haitrong Fan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Harry Haitrong Pham be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Monica Pithieu.
May it please the court, I move that Monica Pithieu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Monica Pithieu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jacob Michael Reardon.
May it please the court, I move that Jacob Michael Reardon be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jacob Michael Reardon be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Shay Louise Riley Lewis.
May it please the court, I move that Shay Louise Riley Lewis be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Shay Louise Riley Lewis be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Therese Mary Saab.
May it please the court, I move that Therese Mary Saab be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Therese Mary Saab be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Patel Savagian.
May it please the court, I move that Patil Savagian be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Patil Srivagian be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Natalie Marie Stenzel.
May it please the court, I move that Natalie Marie Stenzel be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Natalie Marie Stenzel be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jia Yan Natalie Tan.
May it please the court, I move that Jia Yan Natalie Tan be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jia Yan Natalie Tam be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kin Hay Sally Say.
May it please the court, I move that Kin Hay Sally Say be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kin Hay Sally Say be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Romery Lorraine Orkeza.
May it please the court, I move that Romare Lorraine Orkeza be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Romery Lorraine Okeza be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Peter Alexander Vanauskas.
May it please the court, I move that Peter Alexander Vanauskas be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Peter Alexander Vanauskas be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jun Wang.
May it please the court, I move that Jun Wang be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jun Wang be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kelvin Ka-Ming Young.
May it please the court, I move that Kelvin Ka-Ming Young be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kelvin Ka-Min Young be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lila Zazon.
May it please the court, I move that Lila Zazon be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lila Zazon be admitted as a lawyer of this court. Now that the formal moving of lawyers has ended, I'd like to warmly welcome you to this virtual admission ceremony at the Supreme Court of New South Wales. Present with me on the bench today, to my right is Justice Stevenson, who is a member of the Equity Division, and to my left, Justice Kuntz, who is also a member of that division. Together we constitute the court that has, in exercise of its jurisdiction, admitted you to practice. As we gather for this celebration, physically dispersed, I'd like to begin by recognising the various traditional lands on which we meet. This ceremony is streamed from the Banco Court, which is located on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I acknowledge these traditional custodians and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. We recognise the long-standing and enduring customs and traditions of Australia's First Nations and acknowledge with deep regret the role our legal system has had in perpetrating many injustices against Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. To all the new lawyers watching today, welcome to the legal profession. This admission ceremony may be different to what you were expecting. These are challenging times when you are unable to be admitted in person. However, your admission, conducted remotely, reflects the agility and adaptability which you will need to possess as lawyers in an age of great change. This is a time for celebration. You have all worked extremely hard to get to this point, through caffeine-fuelled nights and obscure problem questions, reading countless wafer-thin pages of textbook, and more cases than you can ever hope to remember. You have entered the world of eggshell skulls, encountered the mysterious reasonable person, and have understood that the Constitution consists of so much more than the vibe of the thing. In becoming a lawyer, you have joined a centuries-old profession with ancient origins. The custom of advocates swearing an admissions oath dates back to the 12th century. This court first admitted lawyers to practice in 1824, and by 1830 the names of lawyers were entered onto rolls in this state. You have now become part of this tradition almost 200 years later. Perhaps for some of you, that's how long it feels like you've been studying. For many of you, over that period, the support of your family and friends has been invaluable. No doubt they have also often been on the receiving end of your finely polished skills of argument and persuasion. I encourage you to take the time to thank them today. The oath or affirmation that you've made before this ceremony is a serious one and deserves solemn regard. Whether you work in private practice, at the bar, in a community legal centre, or in an entirely different field, you should be known for your honesty, your integrity, and your commitment to justice. It is acknowledgement of this weighty responsibility that we observe today's unique formalities, including the moving of lawyers and our somewhat unusual choice of fashion. I recall on one occasion some years ago, a young member of the audience asked if we were doing Santa photos after the ceremony. I was very sorry to disappoint. However, although we mark this occasion with formality and tradition, not everything in the legal profession remains unchanging. You'll be unsurprised to hear that over the past year and a half, we've had to adapt quite a bit, as you can see today. COVID-19 has meant a rapid shift to increased use of virtual courtroom setups and technology to ensure that access to justice continues in the midst of a pandemic. Things don't always go smoothly, as those with me on the bench can probably attest to. There have been real difficulties to grapple with in terms of open justice, effective communication and fairness to participants. And occasionally a lawyer might even get stuck behind a Zoom kitten filter. But for all the challenges we are facing, the impetus is greater than ever before for us to prioritise flexibility and accessibility. Better use of technology and increased working from home arrangements have profound implications for how our legal system interacts with many people, including those in rural or remote areas, those with a disability, medical conditions or carers' responsibilities. As the newest members of the profession, you're at the forefront of innovation in the law and have a unique opportunity to see through changes so that justice is done openly and equitably. There are, of course, other changes that deserve attention. When we think of the diversity of the legal profession, we encounter the duality that we have come very far and that much still needs to be done. Though women were originally not permitted to practice, since 2018, women have made up more than half of all solicitors with a practising certificate in New South Wales and currently make up 63% of solicitors under the age of 30. Women occupy many of the most senior positions in the law, including, of course, the Chief Justice of Australia. However, women continue to face challenges of representation, including amongst judges of this court and amongst barristers in speaking roles before the High Court of Australia. On the other hand, it is heartening to see that the local court of New South Wales has almost achieved gender parity amongst magistrates, but we should not be complacent about these issues. There are other noticeable diversity concerns that we must face head on. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and people from diverse cultural backgrounds continue to be alarmingly underrepresented in the legal profession, and particularly within the judiciary and the ranks of senior counsel. We must also be alert to barriers to the profession from people from less privileged backgrounds. Law should not be a profession for the wealthy, and the idea that students may be dissuaded from studying law by the cost of a law degree, which this year has again increased, or because of other systemic issues, is troubling. Not just this, but we will only achieve a truly diverse profession when barriers to advancement are broken down and people from different backgrounds are properly supported in a collegiate and inclusive environment free from harassment and discrimination. These issues are fundamental to a just and transparent legal system and to the legitimacy of the rule of law. We need diverse representation amongst advocates and judges so that all people who become involved in our justice system can be properly heard and fairly engaged with by a system reflective of our broader community. Despite these challenges, there is real scope for change. There is far greater diversity of background amongst junior lawyers than those who have been around for as long as me. You are in a unique position as new lawyers who are entering the profession at a time when more than ever your words and actions are having an impact for good. You are being heard and taken seriously when you agitate to correct injustices, whether it be speaking out about unsustainable working cultures, sexual harassment or bullying within the profession, unfair law, or systemic failings affecting our society's most vulnerable. I urge you to continue to speak up for these things. They do matter. You are the future of the profession and will steer the direction it will take. As a lawyer, you will also need to make difficult ethical decisions at times. With regard to our personal characteristics, lawyers have been the butt of jokes for centuries. Some would say there are, of course, only a few lawyer jokes, the rest are true stories. But jokes aside, you must use the tools you have developed to think critically and not compromise on your fundamental duties to the court and the administration of justice and the other ethical duties you must uphold. Now that you are lawyers, you can get paid to argue instead of just arguing for free. Of course, there is a lot more to it than that. You are an advisor, a problem solver, a mediator, and an advocate for the marginalised. As you go about your day-to-day work, remember that you're not merely dealing with the law in a vacuum as a series of abstract concepts, but law as it applies to people's lives. For this reason, you must strive to deliver legal services competently and fearlessly with courtesy and integrity. Justice Gageler, before he was a High Court judge, once said, you must be prepared to give the same answer to the same questions for the same reason, no matter who asked the question or for what purpose or in what context the asking may occur. That is foundational to upholding the rule of law. For those of you who will practice law, the way you communicate information to others will have profound consequences for access to justice. For a non-lawyer, law is often incomprehensible. One of your roles as a lawyer will be to make law accessible to others, sometimes by deciphering legal complexities, other times by deciphering poor legal drafting, and sometimes both. One thing you will regrettably strike throughout your career is legislation which seems carefully crafted with the sole object of ensuring that no one can understand it. Your task is not just to understand it, but to explain it clearly to those whose rights and interests are affected by it. As lawyers, we must not keep the law locked up as something knowable only to us. A client reading your advice should be empowered to understand your meaning, not mystified and confused. So be clear and concise in your writing and your speaking. Plain English is powerful. Consider, do I really need to say aforementioned or herewith? Must I sprinkle in that Latin phrase? Should I really use double negatives, tautologies and wordy clauses that take up a whole page? I would suggest the answer to these questions is usually no. The best advocates make their points simply and succinctly. Now, some of the most experienced lawyers and judges could also use that reminder. Do not pick up bad habits from those of us who are older and have been longer in the profession. I also want to speak about failure. I would not be surprised if there were quite a few overachievers and perfectionists watching this live stream today. Even so, at various points of your career, you will make mistakes, some minor, some more serious. When you do make mistakes, your commitment to honesty, integrity, and the administration of justice means that you must take responsibility, correct what you can, and learn from these errors. You must fail at times in order to grow. What is important is that you try not to make the same mistake twice. I myself have made many mistakes over the years, too many to remember, but many of my colleagues take great delight in reminding me of them. But even as Chief Justice, my decisions have on occasions been successfully appealed to the High Court. What I do is remind myself through gritted teeth that it's not merely a legal fiction that the High Court is infallible, but in fact, at times, even dissenting High Court judgments have become the law. Finally, I want to emphasise that your mental health is extremely important. This may sound unexpected of this type of ceremony, but the law is not everything. There may be times when you feel overwhelmed, burnt out or distressed. If you do, you should not be afraid to seek professional help or take a step back when you need to. Also remember, the law is a collegiate profession, and in times of difficulty, the support of your peers will prove invaluable. I found this out throughout my legal career. Although you might find it hard to believe, I was admitted quite a long time ago. I lost my first case and I lost many more after that. But throughout my 35 years in practice, I could always count on the other barristers in my chambers to share my disappointment at the unfairness of the verdict, the slight tactics of opposing counsel, and most often, I regret to say, the obtuseness of the judge or judges before whom I was appearing. I hasten to add I don't include either of my fellow judges on the bench in that comment. On behalf of all the judges of the Supreme Court, and particularly those sitting with me today, I once again congratulate you on your admission and welcome you to the legal profession. The Court will now adjourn.